everyone and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where today is a Sunday episode, and for today's Sunday episode, we are taking care of a new optional dungeon. A level 38 dungeon. We could have done it a little bit ago, but now is the first time I'm really having the time on my end to set everything up to do it. Hello there, Sibold. What would you have me do? Sibold has but little time left and would confide to you his burdens. Time heals all wounds, or so say those who have never experienced true pain. More than 30 summers have passed since I carried the standard of the Dark Light Raiders into Cutter's Cry, but not a day goes by that I don't see the faces of the friends I lost that fateful day. Garibald the Red and his loyal second, Aubrius the Stillwater, Simon the Sweet, always armed with a jab and a jest. Our ever-ireful mage, Chiron Zabran, as quick to cast as he was to temper. Thormoin's Thousand Gale, never has there lived a man with a tighter grip, be it on his sword or his coin. And let us not forget One Ilm Ailson. Though it's hard to fathom now, what with all the adventurers scampering about like rabbits in the spring, there was once a time when bands of mercenaries who the city-states turned to when in need of a blade. The Dark Light Raiders being the biggest and best of them bands. Ishgardian-funded forays into hellish pits like the Orm Vale would earn us a king's ransom in a matter of days, though it would only take a night of devil's play at the Mirage to see it gone from our purses. But so is the life of a raider. That is, until we took that job at the Cutter's Cry. My brothers and I had stood against herds of giant buffaloes on Ogomoro, snurble infestations on the Pearl, legions of cold-blooded Sahagin from the abyssal depths of the Indigo Deep, but none of that prepared us for the horrors we faced in the Hellsbrute holes. None of it prepared us for the Chimera. The bards still sing of the day 7 of the realm's finest warriors set off into the bowels of that forsaken place, but I only saw one return, Sibold the Stoic, spared by the beast so that he may warn all others who would be foolish enough to attempt to spoil the Chimera's lair. My apologies. You did not come to hear the guilt-ridden ramblings of an old man. But if you have a moment, I was wondering if I could ask of you a favor. The final wish of an ailing soul seeking peace with his past before departing on his journey through the 7 gates. In each of the 30 summers since escaping from the maws of that terrible beast, I have returned to its lair to pay the proper respects to my fallen compatriots. However, the years have finally caught up with old Sibold, and try as I might, no longer can these bones make the trek alone. If it is not too much to ask, would you care travel to Cutter's Cry in my stead and place this bouquet of flowers upon the resting place of the Dark Light Raiders? Sure, I can go make the delivery for you. Off we go to the Cutter's Cry. Right, so the Cutter's Cry can be found up to the north and west, very far northwest corner of central Thanalin. Right off at the Hellsbrute Holes, as mentioned, where, if you may remember, we have been in that area before, I believe, probably for hunting logs, and there's quite a few antlings in the area. It is a giant ant's nest that goes deep, deep into the earth. But it's not just an ant's nest. As mentioned, there's a chimera deep in its depths. And that thing is no joke. Alright, almost there. Hello there, plenty of antlings. And we've got a commander out here as well. Alright, you have fun probably getting yourself killed by anyone who wants to do fates. And let's leave that bouquet here. And hello there, Flame Private Norman, what's up? This is Cutter's Cry, a labyrinth of sandwood caverns. And you hear that? That sound is like the woofing snort when a fire catches. That's the Chimera. Not that I've seen it. Sure, go right on in if you're that certain of your ability to make it out in one piece. Just don't expect me to go trotting in there after you, no matter how hard you wail and holler. You promised old Sibold the Stoic, did you? He's what's called a man of principle, he is. A little too much principle, I'd say. What's wrong with wanting to live when you've a wife at home big with child? The tale goes that rather than facing the fate spun for him by Nemea, he hid beneath the mangled body of his leader and watched as his companions were torn apart, one by one. Also that he might return home to see his son born. Honestly understandable, but not helping probably did not help. Should he have died a hero rather than lived a coward? Was being able to see his son worth having the boy grow knowing his father was a craven, a disgrace to his friends and family? Should I ever find myself faced with a similar decision, would I have the courage to walk the righteous path? Now you know the true reason I'll never step into that cave. Understandable, I think. Let's go ahead and grab the money, and we are now have access to the Cutter's Cry. Give me just a few minutes, I'll go ahead and get some friends together so we can take on the Cutter's Cry, and we will dive in. Alright, we're back. We got the party together. As before, as the previous time we did optional dungeons, we've got Thabita, my partner, friend Adelaide's Phoenix, and Metamor Tsuki Treble. Alright then, let's get started. Just gonna go ahead and check with everyone that everyone's ready to go. Alright, taking a moment for one of them to get ready. Just technical issues on someone's end. In the meantime, I'll just go ahead and quickly scroll through and show off the material I have set up. Primarily critical hit, followed by determination as second priority. Critical hit is going to be generally the best material to have on any job. There are some exceptions, but critical hit's just such a good stat to have. So I focus on that, and everything else, every other slot went to determination. And it looks like we might be ready. Looks like we're ready. I'm gonna go ahead and get us registered then. Into the Cutter's Cry. Oh crap. Oh well, it probably won't be an issue. I'm gonna check when we get in what gear is low. It's probably something that's at like 15%, so it'll be fine. Alright then, let's see. Oh, come on. Show me. Condition is 100%, 62, 27. Oh my god, that's fine. There is not an issue there. Why are you complaining, game? Why are you trying to warn me about non-issues? Alright, so entering this first room. We have an objective of slay every enemy in the room. There's going to be 2 waves of 4, I want to say it is. Let's get our Mage's Ballad up and running, so we can get those occasional refreshes of Bloodletter. And now that the first wave is down, the second wave is going to spawn up on the edges. Oh goody, they're all mad at me because I struck first. Oops. Oh well, maybe we'll get to actually see arm's length be useful. Okay. Once the enemies are all dead, we're clear to head on to the next floor. And we have another wave of enemies to deal with. Okay. That's the first wave down. It's 3 enemies for the first wave in this room. Second wave is 5. Let's get behind them so we can hit as many as we can at once. And yeah, we should be clear to head on to the next floor. No treasure coffers, right? I don't see any. Alright, that should be the only rooms that are really like that throughout this entire dungeon. From here on, it's going to be a bit more, a little bit more standard for a dungeon. This is an odd dungeon because it is an antling It is an antling nest, so it's all going to be winding tunnels buried in the sand, making our way further and further down. One thing we definitely need to watch out for here is there's going to be a lot of mechanics involving enemies and attacks and just environmental hazards all buried in the sand. So we want to be careful not to get got by those. Those can do... Well, that first trap didn't do a lot of damage to Thabita, but the damage can add up in a bad way during fights. The shrapnel enemies are also a massive nuisance since they are bomb type. They can, they explode quite easily. Uh-oh, Thabita down. Okay, enemies clear. Oh crap, I'm standing right in the sand pit. Okay, that was my bad. Yeah, that started to do a lot more damage. The sand pits kinda suck. I think there might be treasure coffers over here, so I do want to go take a look. I think we actually might already be past the point where Cutter's Cry gear is worth it. Wow, there's actually nothing over here. Lovely. I love that. They just put a dead end with nothing in it. I love that. Yeah, and there's another issue with the environmental hazards here. They tend to be lined up, so if you get hit by one, you might be on perfect timing to get hit by like 3 or 4 in a row. Definitely something to watch out for. Alright, we have the first proper boss, the Myrmidon Princess. And she's probably gonna end up summoning some more ants to defend her in just a moment. There they are. Whole bunch of Myrmidon marshals show up. We're gonna try and kill her before they catch up and become an issue. And got it. Goodbye, Myrmidon Princess. Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and greed any of the gear that comes up in here. There's a good chance that we're going to be already over-leveled for it. It's already going to be not really worth having, but you never know. It might fill in a gap here or there. Alright, looks like we're heading this way. Ah, treasure coffer. Perfect. I rather like this area and the next one. We've got these underwater ponds, like oases. What's the plural of oasis? Oh gosh. But like, they're exposed to the surface right there. There's water dripping in. I really like these areas. They're kind of neat. Alright, and there's the shifting sand, so let's head on to the next floor. Are there more treasure coffers, or do you just want to fight? Is that what we're doing here? Okay, you were just clearing out enemies, I think. Alright then. Another underground oasis? We got condors in this one. They've made a nest. We've also got sabotenders. All sorts of creatures gathering in this area. Technically, you don't really need to fight any of the enemies on this floor in the previous one. You just need to get to the shifting sands and head through. But if any enemies are attacking you, then, well, you're not going to be able to get through without getting hit, and that'll interrupt going through. So you could honestly try and stealth through these floors, if you want. This is admittedly a little bit of a harder dungeon for newer players. Not the hardest dungeon in A Realm Reborn, but a harder dungeon for newer players if you're playing it at the level it unlocks. Not even necessarily for these earlier floors either. The environmental hazards can be a little bit rough, but they're manageable. Like, the worst is the area where Thabita died earlier, since you've got the shrapnels, which can explode and do a ton of damage, and you have the environmental hazards. But far, far worse. The worst part of this dungeon is probably going to be the last boss of it. It is a rough boss for newbies, to be sure. It's very mechanics heavy in a way that you're probably not going to be familiar with if you're going through this at the level it unlocks. Okay, on to the shifting sands. Let's get out of here. Alright, and we've arrived at the second boss, the giant tunnel worm. Hello there. Alright, let's hit you with a few poisons, get our mage's ballad going, and let's get to work. This thing's gonna exemplify the environmental hazards that this dungeon loves to make use of. In any moment now, it's going to, well, it's a tunneling worm. What do you think it's gonna do? Alright, down it goes. Watch out for where it's going to be digging through the dirt. Heading towards the middle. And yeah, you're gonna want to stay as far from that as possible, if possible. That can be a nasty hit. Alright, looks like we have a limit break. Let's go ahead and save that. Also, that'd probably be better for Adelaide to use, since Adelaide is physical DPS and I'm ranged. So I'd be good in a group of enemies that are all lined up, but if we're going to use it on a boss, that's going to be for a physical DPS to use, probably. Staying near the edge of the arena is often a good way to stay safe from this thing's nasty underground attacks. Love that it just tried to drag us all into the middle. Alright, let's see. Grab some more loot, and down we go. They are just giving me all the gear. Thank you. Alright, just waiting on Tsuki. There's Tsuki. Let's get moving. Alright, this is going to be the last floor of the dungeon. From here, it's nearly a straight shot to the boss. The tunnel's still going to be a little bit winding, but you can definitely tell things are a bit different down on this floor. Very different color scheme. We've got, I want to say those are burning cerulean vents. Oh, goodness. Cerulean being, it was involved in side quests that we did recently, but cerulean is basically the oil of Eorzea. So we have underground burning oil vents. I love that. That's great. Okay, this is a dead end, but we might as well take a look. Probably nothing, but who knows? Maybe there is a treasure trove back here. In fact, I'm gonna go look for one. There is a treasure coffer. All right, worth it then. All right, now let's go find that chimera. Oh, and we've got Spriggans way down here as well. Oh, hi! Oh, you're a big friend. Hello, Golem. Okay. Put that Peloton back on, and we are almost there. The tunnel to the chimera should be just ahead on our right. Alright, it's right there. It is right there. Don't think there's anything over this way, but looks like we're gonna go check just to be certain. Oh, goodness, there actually is a treasure coffer over here. Alright, don't mind if I do. That is for warrior. Nice. Okay, now it was this way, I believe. Just past one more golem and a set of Spriggans with it, and then we'll be at our destination. All right, chimera, let's do this. The chimera can be a bit of a nasty boss. It has two major mechanics to watch out for. One that you have a little bit more control over how you respond to, the other one, good luck. The first major mechanic is going to be, occasionally its eyes will glow either violet or blue. And the way its eyes glow will determine how you need to respond. I want to say violet is going to be electricity, and you want to get in close to the chimera to avoid the electricity. Yeah, like that. If it glows blue, then it's going to emit ice directly next to its body, so you want to get away from it. Violet is in, blue is out. Oh, I was too close. That was my mistake. The other thing it's going to do is it has a few targeting abilities where it'll lock onto someone and send, for example, those orbs at them. They're those aren't really mechanics you can do too much about, other than if you're targeted, bring them away from the middle so they're not going to be hitting other players. The mechanic that's actually going to screw most people is going to be the in and out with the blue and violet. Yeah, there it is. Locked onto Tsuki, fired off some ice towards Tsuki, but Tsuki got away from the middle, so that didn't hit too many other people and didn't become a problem for us. Alright, think Adelaide's just not going to use the limit break, so I'm going to take it. Didn't do as much damage as we could have, but oh well. Does not need to be perfect. Did they give me everything again? Alright, let's go ahead and need that. Greed that. And thank you so much, all of you, for your help. Managed to get through here with basically no issues, except for the one spot where I was worried we might have issues just because of those dang bombs. Alright, who has not voted on everything? Once that gear is voted on, we can get out of here. I think someone's forgotten. Everyone's too busy having fun posing. Y'all, seriously, who forgot to vote? Who of you forgot to vote? There we are. Alright, let's hop out of here. How many levels did we get? Only one. We got a level from finishing the quest to unlock it, and then we got another level from the dungeon itself. Alright, well, thank you all three of you for helping out with this. It was fun to go through Cutter's Cry, finally got that done and out of the way. And next time on Final Fantasy XIV, we're heading back up to Kurthus, up to Whitebrim Front. Now that we know that the Inquisitor is not actually alive, let's figure out who this fake Inquisitor is, and just what they're up to, why they're trying to hamper us so much. I'll see everyone next time for that.